Okay, we're getting ready to work on this 65, 66 tranny. So this is the second one we're doing. So this one here had a new gear set in it that failed and ate up the case a little bit in here. So I've already done a little bit of work on this. I got the top of the studs all GB welded up. So that should keep them from leaking. Keep oil from leaking down past the studs. We did the drain plug in a previous video. Got all the studs up in here. So everything else is looking good. I lightly honed this race out right here. So I got to check to see the fitment on the bearings on this one. So yeah. So wow. So these are all the old parts. There's a new gear set in this box, and here's a bunch of miscellaneous stuff here. Stuff I didn't use in the other trainers, so it's all out if we need it. So we're going to go through all the stuff, figure out what we're going to keep, not keep, and then start going on this. So that's how you do trannies. Let's see, this tripod sucks. This ought to be a good view for you to watch. There's a reason why I don't like this tripod. Alright, how was this thing on here before? How's that for a view? Cut it around this way. Alright, let's see what we're looking at now. This tripod I don't like too much. But everybody else seems to like it, so there you go. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is go through your box of crap, see what you're going to keep and not keep. Go from there. So we got a gasket set. Appears to have new gaskets in it, so we'll keep that. We know there's a new gear set into that box. Okay, here's our hand shift top. This still has to be gone through to get all the material out of it. You can tell it's a genuine 65 by the part number on it. So this one's still pretty dirty. Obviously we want to keep this part. So you have to clean it all up too. Okay, zip tie we're not going to use. Okay, we're not going to use the gear set. We might have to steal a snap ring and stuff off of here for the other one, I'm sure. And the thrust washers. So we'll go ahead and put that off to the side. So this we might keep out. So we'll keep it out just in case. There's some more parts to figure out. Probably need the push rod, so keep it out. Two main shafts here. Bearing. Okay. I think the plan was we're going to reuse the Andrews main shaft because it was not as worn as much. You can see how it got really hot on here, like it didn't have enough oil in it or the clearance are way too tight. And over here you can see it's all burnt over here, so it looks like more lack of oil flow or crappy oil in it. And you can see how the gear was seizing up right on here a little bit. That's not a good sign. That's third gear. It's one of these. So that was right on there. Yeah. So if it was this gear, there'd be some pretty good wear marks in here. This one doesn't look too worn. So it's probably a different gear set. So this one here is torn up a little bit right here. Not really where you can really feel it. Where it's worn down, you just feel the grooves in it. So we'll have to polish this up a little bit to make sure that's smooth, if we use it. Okay, so this box here is now the junk box. We're not using the dogs. I'm not going to reuse a bearing that might have a bunch of crap in it. But we do need the race. Keep that apart. There's an old rusty lock, probably won't use that. There's a special short and push rod. Probably was welded into the shaft. So that means we got to check the holes in here, make sure they're good, and make sure the bushing in here is good. So, take our shaft. You can see where it was worn on the end here. See what it feels like in here. Actually not too bad. It looks like it's wearing okay. There's the old countershaft. We're not using that. Helicoil we're not using, old lock we're not using, and I don't know what the Allen bolt is for. I'm not using that either. Alright, so that takes care of that. Okay, next tranny. Here you can see some of the shrapnel still in here from the blown up tranny. So we got the original race and we got the old one. So I'll try to use the original one first, and this one will be the backup. So we'll put the backup in the junk box for now. Okay, here's the seal spacer. Looks like it probably could be reused. It's not torn up too badly. Looks like I can polish up the bare seal area. It's not the it's not the style I like. I like the one like this one I already have set aside for them. It has no groove in it. So that's for lock tab engaging the gear, but it's not needed. If this isn't tight, it leaks anyway, so it doesn't matter if it spins or not. The thing is, if you ever put a super nut on the outside of the tranny, try to seal it, that's an oil leak right there. This one here, it seals here, so it's not an oil leak. So we'll see if we can reuse that. If not, I got my new one here. That's why I had it out. Here's the gear that was in it, but we got a new gear set, so we're not reusing it. Here's the bearing. Now these are checked when you push down here and push down like that. And you listen and feel. So it feels pretty smooth and it doesn't sound too bad for these bearings. And you make sure it doesn't lock up anywhere it's not. So we just clean this up pretty good and reuse it. It's not really much wear up in here, so it's in good shape. There's a stock spring, we'll keep that. Plate looks good. See more of the material all over the place. It came apart. Here's the kicker gear that they were using. Like most of them, they're already loose. It's pretty loose for new, but being used a little bit, it's already broken in. Yeah, that's borderline that one for me. They wear quite a bit, so I like to replace them all the time. Here's the other gear for it. This goes up against that. Now what I don't like seeing is I got the bushing here. You can see the marks on the bushing. And when you put this together, you can see how the teeth are not bottoming out. You can see how it rocks up a little bit on the one side. So that means this bushing is too tall. So it has moved because see it's below the surface now on this side. So this bushing has moved out a little bit. So it needs to be pushed back in. So I might just go ahead and replace it probably. So I always like making them pretty new. Now the shift fork, we're probably going to replace it. We already got some wear on the tip of it in here. It's not worn too bad on the sides. But we have to have all this stuff here, so I'm going to keep it for that reason. These are probably two of the original shift forks. So we're not going to use those either. Here's the other new one. 2 more shift dogs I'm not going to use. There's some original pieces here. I don't know why they didn't reuse these. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know why they got changed out. I like original parts, so I might reuse those. There's a bushing. Might reuse it. Who knows? That's good. Kicker tab's good. This lock looks probably okay. This one here looks okay. Third gear washer doesn't look like it's chewed up too bad. So, we'll see if that's the right size. All this other stuff looks good. Plastic nut I don't think we need. This tail's been bent over a couple times. Get rid of that one. And this has all the original screws on here. A little bit rounded out, but still might be usable. Okay, so all of this small stuff in here, we'll go ahead and clean all this up. Looks good. We got to clean all this stuff here. So all of this needs to get all cleaned. Make sure it's good. So I don't see this washer here, so we need to get this apart so we can get that out of there. It doesn't have the washers in here, and I didn't see them either, so they probably got destroyed, I'm guessing. Okay, so let's go and get this snap ring off of here. At least attempt to get it off anyway. So you can figure out where the end of it's at. There it is right here. That's the end of it right there. So this one wraps around. So I just pull it out, try to get my fingernail under it. So you just get like that underneath it, and then just kind of fish it out as you go, like that. Make sure it doesn't drop back down on you. Just keep your finger under it and just walk it around. Okay. Almost all of it now. And the last little piece right over here. Okay, once you get it all the way up, then you just slip the gear up and it comes off. Right, bushing with the pan where needed. So there's a clip, we can reuse it. That's the Harley one, I like those. And there's the washer we needed. Gear we don't need. This gear we don't need. Alright. I'm going to try to get this lid apart. Has a little set screw right in here you got to take out, and then over here we got to try to get the shaft by pulling out on it. The screw wasn't even tight. Has a long titty on it which holds the shaft in. Sometimes people cheat will put a hole in here so you can put a punch in or knock it out, but if you do, you got to put sealer over it to keep it from leaking out of it. We'll try not to do that. So if we're lucky, we just take a screwdriver and pry on it. So I'm going to put one screwdriver in the groove, And we'll take the other screwdriver and pry on that. Try to get some leverage on it. Appears to be in there pretty good. So that one's in there really tight. Let's see to get this as loose. It's your indent ball on the early ones. Big ball bearing on it that does it. I thought they changed that on these early covers. This is definitely probably the only year they did that. They went to the other style system pretty soon after this, I guess. Okay, this doesn't want to come out, so I'm going to take it back, heat up the torch, get the whole thing warmed up, and then I'll try to pry that out again, and hopefully it'll come loose and pop out. If there's any sealer in there holding in, that should melt it a little bit, free it up, get it to come out. So I don't want to have to get too much forceful in that, so we'll try that first and see what happens. So we'll be back. Okay, we're back. I got the cover all stripped down here. So once I got that heat up with the torch, this just slipped right out, no problem. So whatever sealer was in there was holding it, came out. So now it just slips in there pretty easy like it's supposed to. So easy enough done. So I double cleaned this already. Just got to scrape the gasket surface off. So working on that. Now the reason I had that early style plug in here is because it's a 65 cover. So I'll get back to it in a minute. Interrupted. Hurry up, get him! Scooby likes playing with plastic bags. Popcorn's his favorite ones. If it makes noise, he eats it. He shredded all this stuff. I got some more right here though. He likes these things. Oh, what's that? Oh, hey, that was my fingers. Yeah, he eats them things up. What do you got? You got a good one there? Hurry up, get it. Ooh. Eat that sucker. Eat it. Oh, a little bit left. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's mine. That's mine. Ooh, look at those teeth go. Oh, he hates that stuff. I think a piece of plastic got into him before and beat him up when he was a baby. He hates plastic bags. You get that one? Get that one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, he's having fun. Alright, back to work. Okay, covers. We're talking about covers. I got interrupted. So the Countershaft tops use the old screw style end right here. I mentioned it was an early cover. Now the difference in 65, which is what this is they went to the new bigger diameter hole here. They use a different screw. They went to the electric start 2-wire neutral switch, so you can't start the bike if it's not in neutral. So they made the casting boss right here with a bigger diameter, so you can put a big gasket on it. The early ones were smaller, same thread size, but different gasket size. And they kept the early style screw here that you can adjust the tension of the shift lever by how much you put drag on the drum over here, which is right here on your indents. These are your indent balls in here. So anyway, that's how they do that. So that's all there. Oh, we got a big piece of metal. I cleaned it twice and see a piece of metal right there. Let's see, toolbox, screwdriver. So looks like I have to check every gear in here. There, see that? Yeah, see, that would have been a problem. Yeah, that's part of an old broken tranny there. That's what that is. So it doesn't matter how many times you clean these things, you always have surprises. So you can see where all the teeth, all the stuff got jammed in the teeth in here. Okay, looks like that was the only piece. Everything's nice and free. I'm not going to take this apart because it's all nice and free and working good. So no real reason to take it apart. There's a leather washer in here and the leather rarely goes bad unless you do something to make it bad. Same with this here. If it's not leaking, leave it alone. Don't need to screw with it. Okay, so I got to do my gaskets here for scraping. Then I can go back together. So we'll work on that a little bit. Make sure everything's clean. Get my clean rag out. We're putting all the screws on. The ball's trying to get away over there. There's your indent ball. Here's the bigger diameter screws here. See, the earlier screws were more like this shape, and the new ones are these ones. These have different angles to them right here. Blow them up a little bit, you can see better. This is a steeper angle than this one, so when you mix them in the cover over here, they don't fit correctly. So you watch that last tranny I just did it. He had the same problem. He had the late cover, but he had the early screws in it. So this one here has the correct screws. So hopefully we can reuse these and keep them the same. So this is all the stuff that we're going to try to reuse. So we don't have any problems. That's it, in the way. Okay, this stuff here I got all cleaned up now. Get all the oil and stuff off of it. So this I need to work on. Clean that up. That I need to work on. I took this apart, and the shaft in here is a little loose. So not too bad, but it's loose. So we're doing a new transmission. We want to make everything new. So we're going to put new bushings in there. We'll put new bushings on that gear. So we'll get that all done. These are the original kicker gears here. You can see how they don't wear like the aftermarket ones. They stay in there like they should. So this is the gear that runs against it. So that all looks good. Okay, so I got to work on that stuff a little bit. Pull that out. And I got to see what we got here in the new Andrews kit. So let's see what we got in here. We're going to get a new main shaft, so looks like Scooby's done making a mess. You all done down there, Scooby? You're tired. Yeah, you're tired. Ooh, we got new shift forks. Good. So we got all new gears. Yeah, they're all taped together. It's hard to do with one hand. Alright, I'll put our camera up here. See if you can see what I'm doing. It only goes that far. You tired, Scooby? Good boy. Ooh, they're nice and gooey. I think we're going to have to clean these. These look like those import gears. They don't look like Andrews gears nowadays. They used to be all silver color in the old days. Maybe they still are after I get all the grease and crap off. Alright, so these are going to have to get all cleaned. Getting all dirty again. Plastic for the chicken. With that, you like that? Whoa! Oh, there goes another piece. Oh, Scooby's getting that one. Yeah, get that son. Get him! You can get this one. Oh, look out! Vicious animal over there. You didn't even finish that piece. I can give you no more. Have to get the maid to clean up after me. After Scooby. That'll be me. You like that? Oh, you like that. Oh, he wants that. You want that, don't you? You want that, don't you? Can I get the gear out first? Oh, Jeez, almost took off my thumb there. Yeah. Well, he wants that. Get that sucker, get it! There we go, there's high gear. It looks like I'm going to have to use the old man shaft because I didn't buy a new one for the customer. We'll make sure that one's good before I say that though. We'll put third gear on to make sure that area is good still. So we'll clean that up. Oh, you want some more? Ooh, look at that. Ooh, we got an O-ring for some reason. Just have a new modified high gear now for Andrews. Looks like they cut this out for an O-ring in here now. Trying to stop oil leaks. Got extra parts. Are you done down there? You didn't eat that one up yet. Scooby wants another one. Look at that dog. Look at that dog. Take that. Hey. 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 That was my finger. See that? That's finger. Jeez. He's getting a little aggressive over there. You're not supposed to eat my finger. There we go, that looks like the old style gears. Silver. Now this is a 260 first gear. So that's what they use on the FX bikes, for the FLs. And early third gear. So we got the close ratio third gear in it too, 136. Stock one is I think it's close to 1.2 or something. It's going to be basically a close ratio gear set in this thing. Makes the bikes accelerate a lot better than having that FL first gear in them. Ooh, you ready for more? You like paper too? Oh, he'll take paper, he don't care. Well, you don't like paper much, do you? When you get this stuff. That's what he wants. That's what you want. There's what you want. Yeah, that's what you want. Get it, get it. Alright, there's a 1-2 cluster. See, it's the old silver color like it's supposed to be. Okay, so I get all that stuff cleaned up. That'll be fun. Look at that mess you made over there on the floor. You want more? You already got enough of a mess today. Okay, I need to get some bushings. So we'll get some bushings, get these things pressed out. So we can do some honing. I got to polish up this shaft right here and make sure this is pretty good. Make sure that fits on there nicely like it does. So we'll clean that up to make sure it's all good to go. And this goes into here. Feels good. Alright, so we'll get all these things cleaned up. We'll be back. And I gotta clean up Scooby's mess over here too. Look at that dog. Did you get that sucker? Get him! How about that one? Get that one, get it! There we go. Yeah, he's having fun under there. What are you doing, Scooby? Scooby! Hey, what are you doing down there? You got that sucker? Did you get it? Oh. Yeah, Scooby got it. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, we got all the gears all cleaned up now, so degreased. So Andrews has gone from the old silver color gears to a more darker color gear like all the import ones are. I'm sure that doesn't mean they're made import now, but who knows. Anyway, those all go like that when you stack them all up. We'll make sure the second gear fits on this one unlike that last training. And you got third gears over here with the shift dog. You gotta make sure high gear goes out. Don't you mark high on these things anymore? Nope. So they don't mark it high anymore, but you gotta be smart enough to know that the letter's out and high. That goes like this. That's how they shift them. Yeah, those are all cleaned up. Got the forks cleaned up. So now I'm digging through my bags of extra crap. Get the tranny finished. Another phone call. So there's a new countershaft to go with the rest of the gear set. American made ball bearing for the main shaft. Hello. Yeah. Okay, I'll look at it when I get home about another hour or so. Yeah. Bye. Alright, interruptions. Okay, we got a new speedometer drive gear, ring gear, and the drive gear unit here. This one goes in the case, this one here goes on to the cluster gear right there. So this is the ratio for 65, which is the 2-to-1 ratio, should be. So we got a new drain plug for him, but his old one here is still good, so we'll reuse it. Should fit the case. Kind of. Threads aren't as happy. Might have to clean the threads up a little bit. They're a little rough, so we'll run a die on that too. So that goes to the machine shop also. Okay. And most of this other stuff we've already got a lot of. Here's our new kicker bushings. These are gems, so we'll use those. I need a ratchet gear bushing also. I don't know if I have that. This one here is a 5-over bushing. This one's a standard bushing, so we'll see which size we need. When they put the 5 after the part number, that means it's 5-over on Jim's numbers anyway. So I got both of those two to choose from. Let's see. I'm not seeing the ratchet gear bushing. Let's go digging for that. Hopefully I still have one. I just used one the last training. Haven't had a chance to reorder yet. But usually I have 2 of everything for that reason. I think that's what you're supposed to be doing around here. Okay. And we got extra screws if we need them for holding things together. Alright, so that's all the stuff for that. So the only thing I'm missing that I can tell for sure is the bushing for this. I haven't found yet. So this here is our Fafner Torrington. So nice American made bearings. These you pretty much have to hunt on eBay to find American made bearings anymore. Oh, this one has a snap ring on it. We don't use that part though. So there you go, a nice shielded bearing. So that should be a good one to use. It goes inside of here, like that. And then goes on our main shaft. Clean that up a little bit better, but we don't put this in solvent because we don't want to take the bearing out of the inside, take the grease out of the inside, excuse me. And we're not using a snap ring because that's for when you have this shoulder bearing. Oh, drop it helps. So that would have a shoulder against it. We're not using this part. That's an extra bonus. Another part to put on the shelf. I have no idea what it's for. Okay, this is our Andrews Countershaft. Hopefully this looks pretty good. We'll let Scooby see this so we'll go after it. Uh oh, his ears came up. Uh oh, Scooby's back. What's that, Scooby? What's this? What was that? He found that. Man, I just got done cleaning that floor up over there too. Look at that. Oh well. Scooby's got to have some fun too, you know. Alright, there's our brand new Countershaft. Clean the oil off of that. Let's see if this thing fits in the case here. Ooh, nice getting dull again. Ooh, they even give you a new screw with it. Nice. Okay. Looks to be pretty good. Let's see if it fits. Ooh, it actually fit in the hole. Not too bad either. Alright. CV Twin does make parts that kind of fit. We still don't know if the teeth are cut right, but at least it went in. Alright, clean that up a little bit. And this is our ring gear. That. And that goes against that like that. Makes it rotate. We'll have to press that onto the cluster here over there. Okay, we got to clean up these items here. And we're going to get this cover apart, wherever it ran off to, right here. So you're going to press these bushings out and then fit up the new ones. So we'll get that done too. You don't need to see, watch me press in bushings, so we'll figure out which size it is when we push these out. Of course, you probably want to watch that too, I'm sure. But, I'm going to go look for the ratchet gear bushing so I can find another one, because I do need that. So, we'll be back. Alright, we're back. I found one more bushing, hopefully it's the right size. I make two different ones of these. So this is the 502 version, which means it might be oversized. Find out. Main shaft. What do I do with the main shaft? With a holding tank already. So I went ahead and polished these down with some fine emery paper on these surfaces here. I do it over the kicker side, third gear side, and the main shaft side, or high gear side. Okay, this one here appears to not be the one that's going to fit in there easily. Let's see, 785. So that should work. Take about 2 or 3 thou out. Okay, so that, as long as it fits in the gear, we should be good. So the next thing I do is push this one out and see what size this is and see if it matches. If it matches, we're in business. Okay, then on the over here, we got to do the same thing on this gear. See what this is going to do. These bushings. Should be able to use a standard. There's the O-ring for the inside. Jim's bushings are made out of higher quality material than the other stuff out there. Charge a lot extra for them too. Imagine that. See, it's already a loose fit when you put them in brand new, which is not a good sign. Hopefully they're press fit when you put them in the cover and squeeze them down a little bit. So that's one thing I don't like about a lot of these new parts. They don't leave anything to work with when you got to fit anything. It's made for people to do in the garage with no tools, which means it's not done right. Okay, so we got this, we got this, we got this. Got all of these bushings. Got the kicker cover. And a whole handful of stuff. Alright, let's go over here to press. Press right here. here, the drawer, our press drawer. And we got to find the right tools for pushing these out. There's that one. Alright, so we'll stack up 3 of those for that. Excuse me. And it looks like the ratchet gear takes the same one as we lucked out. Alright, so flip this around and see what I'm going to do over here. Put this gear on. Basically just push against the press blocks. It's easy enough to do the job. Rotate it, make sure it goes down straight. That looks pretty close to being flush. You make sure it's on there evenly on both sides, and that's pressed on. That's pretty straightforward. But sometimes it gives you problems. Okay, I'm going to push out the bushing here. Flip it over. Push that in there. Block. Okay, old one's out. New one feels about the same. I need to get a pushing tool. I need a pushing tool. Okay. Much work. That's what they make spacer blocks for. It's got a good tight fit on that. That means I got to take even more honing out. It'd be nice if the kicker cover goes that much, but I doubt if it will. Okay, that's in. We'll flush with that side. So we gotta make sure the ratchet gear fits in there correctly. So this is our ratchet gear here. So you want to make sure it goes all the way in like it didn't do last time. So this time you can see how it's all the way up into the edge, it's not hitting, because the bushing is now flush over here instead of being recessed like it was before. It's sitting up too high. So now it fits in there just like it's supposed to do it. So before it wasn't going to ratchet, it didn't ratchet correctly, now it will. Okay, well, we got a lot to hone out because I squeezed it quite a bit. Alright, so now I'm going to do the kicker cover. 2 things are down, 1 more to go. Okay, we got to push this out. The lever's in the way a little bit, have to work around that. Stack these up. And they all just fell out. actually have 2 O-rings in there. There's the old bushings. Now the O-rings you don't put in right now, you put them in later. Hole looks good. Hopefully this goes in tight. And it already looks like it's way, way too tight for this application. It'll be a pretty tight squeeze. Let me get my caliper. So the bushing that came out is 933 and a half. This one's 933. This is 939. 938. 38 and a half. 939. Alright, that is a lot of squeeze. Now, if I attempted to put that inside this cover, it probably would split the thing wide open. I gotta get my good calipers to measure where these ones are off. Okay, these are my carbide tipped ones, new ones I got. Those other ones are worn out. And the good carbide ones I broke. Okay, now I'm going to measure this and see what this really is. It's 935 and a half is the hole. 936.37 on this side. 935 and a half. So that's about 2 or 3 thou press. Quite a bit. 39. Okay, we're 39 on the button. Alright, let's see what happens. This here is the thicker side, so let's go ahead and see what's going to happen on this thing. Appear to be going pretty good. Definitely a lot of squeeze though. Now this one over here, a little different. Oh, so the cover's not flat, you gotta get to where the machine part is and not anything else. I'm hitting on that screw stud right now, so I put that in there so it sits flat. You got your bushing. I got another block to push against. Get a pretty good squeeze on this thing. Appears to be pretty good. Okay, went in there good. Definitely a tight squeeze. A little bit more than I'm comfortable with on these things, but these are pretty thin through here, so you don't want to split the cover wide open. Actually, they're really thin through here, the whole shoulder, so you got to be careful when you put in a good press like that. Now, the advantage of that is this now squeezed down small enough, it's probably going to be a tight fit on the Countershaft. So I have something home now. But I would have been happier with 1 thou less press and a couple thou more clearance, or bigger hole on the inside of the hole. So now it's not going in there. So we actually have something to get a hone now, which is a big plus. Now I'm going to have to take this and hit it with a real fine file right here to make sure there's no high spot on this. Because when you tighten the gear down, it swedges it a little bit, so I want to make sure that's not tight right there. The shaft feels fairly even, not a lot of wear. So the way you check all that is you get a dull file. I just happen to have one, and you run across and see if it cuts anything. And it is cutting just a little bit. They usually do. Not too bad, just a little bit. Now, if you didn't do this, it would put a big scar mark in the bushing when you shove it in, or you make it bushing looser than it needed to be because the shaft wasn't even. So you can see the little file marks. See a little bit of file marks right there on the edge. You got a different color. That's the high spot. You can see now the shaft goes in the hole. Not all the way, but goes in a little bit, about a 1/4 inch. So I still got to hone the bushing, but you can see how there was a burr on that. So just run across to make sure everything feels nice. The dull file doesn't really do any damage, so if there's any kind of a high spot, you would feel it and hear it. So it's good. Felt good anyway, but you always check with the file just to make sure. Alright, so this is ready to be honed. And we got honed other parts too. So we'll go get to that next. Okay, we're doing a little honing here. So I just got done rehoning the cylinder here a little bit. I put a little bit rougher finish in it before we get to the tranny parts. It was sitting here to do, so I might as well do it. So these are 500 stones, which gives you 80 grit, I think. And I come by with my super fines, which are 600 grit. Give them a couple strokes of that, and call it done. This gives you a plateau finish on your hone for your rings to set in better. Basically gives you grooves to hold the oil and smoothness on top for horsepower. Kind of best of both worlds. Finish it looks like that in there. Whoa. Yeah, it's really smooth. You can barely hear my fingernail. This one I didn't do yet. See the difference? The difference between a plateau finish and a regular rough-ass finish. So you got rough-ass finish here, plateau finish here. So you still got the grooves in there for the oil control, or hold the oil for lubricant, but it's a lot smoother. Basically, it gives you a few thousand miles of braking. Strokes, all you need. And remember how rough it was before? Nice and smooth again. So, anyway, there's that, and you got your crosshatch angle in there too that you got to retain, obviously. Looks like that could have been a little bit faster stroke. Yeah, pretty close. Okay, now we can take the cylinder stuff out of here and do the real honing. And I only use that real fine grit on cast iron cylinders. Aluminum cylinders move around too much. Evo twin cam crap, doesn't hold up, doesn't stay around very much. Okay, let's do the kicker first. It looks like the right stone. That one does not fit. It does fit on that though. So do it for that one. Okay, this has a real fine stone in here. Once again, fine stone, not much break-in. Here I gotta deal with this arm in my way here. Strokes. Trying to go in. 180, get a couple more strokes. That keeps the bushings pretty straight. That's 3 strokes. Appears to be a lot tighter on this side here than the other side. Yeah. Keep running in this direction this way. I'll start doing this one a little bit. The reason this bushing is tighter is because the cover's a lot stronger on this side. Everything's squeezed it more. This side here is swelled up. So we're going a little ways now. I'm going to keep stroking this way because you always cut some over here and over here usually. Alright, now we need to cut more on the other bushing again. It helps to know your machine how it works. It allows you to compensate for errors. Time to go in. That side went almost all the way through that bushing. Keep doing the same thing. Go over to this side is bigger than right in here. This side's getting worn down. Going on so much. They are getting pretty even, so. Oops, there we go. Be able to drop in freely by itself, it is. This side here's got just a little bit more drag on it. Just pulling it. A couple strokes this other way. That'll be enough. There you go. High spots now gone. That's the way it's supposed to go, huh? There you go, it's right in. Nice and free. That's why it helps to know how your hone works. You can compensate for tapered or mismatched bushing sizes like that. Now if I just hone it going back and forth each way, eventually it would straighten out, but it'd take more than what material I had there to work with. So you have to know how to compensate. Okay, now this other one's going to be a lot of honing. What did I do with that other gear? I don't see the gear. Oh, there it is. I wonder I can't find it. It's on the hone. Okay, this is the fine hone, which I'm not ready for yet. This one here is the coarse hone. Looks like it's about worn out too. Yeah. Too many. I don't think it's going to do much honing. This stone's too worn out. We'll see. It might go big enough. I doubt it. Oh yeah, way off. Okay, so we're going to have to change out this stone for a new one. At least a new one to it. What size is that? It's a 13. That one's worn out. There's an 8. That's a good one to use. So these are just all them little spring tabs. Just a tricky one over here. Okay, this one here, as you can see, is getting pretty thin. It's pretty much worn out, but not quite. We always keep our worn out one until we need every little bit. Sometimes you need a real small diameter one. Okay. Oh, now it's right on there now. Now this is going to be a lot of honing going over here. Put it on the right side though too. This wasn't out on this machine, on this arbor before. These have to be trued in, so I'm going to true it in by wearing it out. See, we're honing over here, but we ain't doing nothing down here. Trick is to stop with a coarse stone before you get to this. Frequent checking helps. If you feel like it's about ready to go on, you better stop. A little bit further I wanted to go, but I had to push it over the lip to get it to go on. So that's a plus. I'm going to give it a flash hone with the fine one here. It's pretty close. So this will just basically like plateau hone like they did on the other one. Have enough clearance so it doesn't run tight. It runs out from the oil. As you like seeing oil squirting. I don't know if you can see it, but when you shake it back and forth, you want to see a little bit of a clearance on that. Fine line between being good and too tight. I'm going to give it one more strike across. There you go. That's enough. So that basically gives you a nice smooth finish on top of the roughness inside. So you can see how close you gotta get pretty close to get it to drop. So it's close. It's not like it's really loose. I can just barely see it rocking now. Before I could not see it. So that's where we want it to be. That's called sneaking up on it a little bit too quick. I'd like to give it a few more strokes in the fines down there, but oh well. Sometimes you just cut it a little close. Okay, that's it for this. We got these all honed out, so we'll clean this stuff all off and we'll come back to see what it looks like. Alright, here's all the parts, all double cleaned. Went through the solvent tank and we went through the clean tank, so everything's nice and spotlessly clean now. So there's the honing we did on this bushing. So this has all been polished on that surface, this surface, and this surface. You can still see a little bit of tear marks right there, but not too bad. These guys have all been cleaned. So everything's nice and clean like we like it. Okay, there we go, ratchet gear is right here. So that goes right on there. See a little clearance as I'm rocking it back and forth. You can hear the clearance. It's pretty tight. So just a very little bit of movement is what you want. That way you have some oil in there. And if you don't have it that loose, you'll get marks like this where it runs tight because the oil's not getting in the bushing. You only have a couple of those grooves right there, let the oil in. The other side has nothing. So if you get it too tight, you'll have that problem. Same thing happens on this side over here. That's for the high gear. They pre-fit this already, so see how loose they made theirs. You can hear a little bit. So it's got just a little bit of clearance. Slightly looser than I do it, but pretty close. Probably a couple tenths different. Alright, so that one's good. So that takes care of our main shaft. Now we got our ratchet, I got our kicker cover bushings are done now. See the hole marks in there. So this here fits right in there nice and smoothly. Drops right in. See how it's just right there. Uneven on the shaft is what's making it lightly bind. So now these don't have to rotate very often, so they can be almost zero clearances and be fine. But even as tight as that is, look how much movement we got. My hand back a little bit. That's because this shaft is not true. Otherwise, one is straight and round. So you only got the one bushing you're going through. when you're fitting this stuff, you have to limit the parts you got to work at. See how loose they are out there, but when they don't want to slide in though, see, so you gotta make them loose enough to support themselves. Alright, so that's all new. And you see how much in play we're going to have in there. See how that shoulder sticking through? You got a lot of in play. Of course we don't have the washer in there. Duh. Hey dumbass. You gotta put all the parts in there. Okay. Now you can see how much in play you're going to have. So you see how the height of the shoulder is only just a few thou above the bushing. So you have almost no in play when you tighten the gear up. Because the gear right here is going to hit right against the shoulder right there. And that's how much clearance you get. If you don't have enough clearance, you have to cut this back here a little bit. Either this side or the other side. Grinding that will not make any difference. Alright, so that's all done there. So take that out. So tomorrow we're going to get to actually doing some fitting on the bearings. So I got to get this fitted up in here. I'm going to have to come up with probably an oversized case race to go in there, which is one of these things right over here. These are supposed to be pressed in, so I have to find one that's going to be a press fit because it's worn a little bit. So we'll get those two bushings in, get this fitted up, get our countershaft bearings fitted, and get this lid assembled. And that'll be probably about all we can do tomorrow, because I put sealer on this up here and let it sit overnight. So I spend a day on this, another day sitting here. I can do the shift work in this in one day, but I try to usually do that separate from this one. So you got 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. That's how I like to do it. If I get forced, I go quicker, but you gotta let the sealer sit at least for probably a half hour to an hour before you can walk away. It's just 3-bond sealer here. So if you go watch the last video I did, you'll see how that all looks. But I like to completely encapsulate it with sealer so it doesn't leak. At least that's the plan. Alright, so this stuff's all ready to go. So tomorrow we'll do some bearing fitting. So that's it for tonight.